Now for a fun moment to discuss TV personality Carson Kressley, the star of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, and many also know him as a judge on both RuPaul's Drag Race and BBQ Brawl. And he was down to chat recently. I found him looking pretty spectacular on the shores of Aruba.
You know, I love to travel, and I'm always doing it either when I was working for Ralph Lauren or since I've been on television. I'm always traveling to some exciting place. I know I'm very lucky and blessed to do so. And Aruba just popped up on my radar because a travel advisor recommended it to me. And you wouldn't think going to a tropical location in the summer would be a great idea, but they have these amazing trade winds. You can see my wig is blowing around, and it keeps it cool, and it's delightful, and it's off season, and it's a great value because of that. I only knew that because a travel advisor recommended it, and they are the pros. They're real travel consultants, and they go to all these destinations, and they know when you should be going places and where you should be going and how you should be getting there.
That's so helpful. And I feel like you are known for doing things with style and elegance. And so do you have any travel tips? For people too?
Yeah, I like to travel with flair and with style, and I also like it to be fun and fabulous and easy. And I have a couple of great tips to share with you today and your viewers. I think the first one is use a travel advisor. I alluded to that about this Aruba trip, but they really are the experts. They're more than just a travel agent. They can help bundle things and get you a better value. They really know when and where to send you because they do all the legwork. The other thing I like to say is pack as light as you possibly. If you can, try to make an itinerary of exactly what you're going to be doing on your trip, and only bring those outfits and those items that you need for those different activities. Don't bring options. Those options are what is going to make your luggage overweight and it gets expensive.
I want to kind of pivot a little bit. You're known for being, a tough judge. I feel like no matter what the show is, and you have several reality shows that you're doing right now that couldn't be more different. And so I want to start with the first one, RuPaul's Drag Race. What do you think is behind the show's popularity?
I think we have amazing queens. That's first and foremost. There is a new cast every season, and they bring so much comedy and glamour and makeup and hair and sparkles, sometimes cattiness and drama, and we just all love that. And I think we all love rooting for the underdog. We love that the show has so much heart, that it tells stories of oftentimes unrepresented people. It provides amazing visibility, and now that it streams, young people from Milwaukee to Malaysia can see people being celebrated for exactly who they are. And that's very, very empowering. And I'm just lucky I get to be a judge. Yeah, thank you.
And we love watching you. That's so empowering. And for something completely different too, that you're also doing BBQ Brawl. Tell me how that, are you there for the Western outfits or what do you think?
You know, they didn't hire me for the Western outfits, but I think they're keeping me on the show for the Western outfits. And I got to be kind of friends with Bobby Flay from doing a couple of his other shows like Beat Bobby Flay. Although I'm not an expert chef, I am an expert eater. I've been eating since I was a baby, actually. And I know what tastes good. So, and I'm just naturally very judgy. I always have been.
I was going to ask, since a young age, do you feel like that's been part of your personality?
Yeah, I can remember being like 10 years old and going like with my mom and my sister to purchase her like prom dress. And I was like, absolutely not with the mint green. You must go with the white Grecian column dress. And they're like, who are you? But I've always had strong opinions, but I think I'm trying to be a cheerleader, and I like to advocate for people making good decisions. So it's not so much judgy as it is coachy.
I would have loved to have you back when I was debating my prom dress choice. You could have saved some heartache there. It's also been decades too since Queer Eye for the Straight Guy that's still going on. What do you think that show has done for people as well? Yeah,
it debuted 22 years ago in July. It's really the goal of that show was for me to get people, men, out of pleated khakis and get rid of mullets. But then there was a byproduct of that. It was a lot of people's first experience with gay people. And I would travel and people would say, oh my gosh, I've never met a gay person before. I was like, have you not been on an airplane? Have you not gotten highlights? Of course you've met gay people. But that visibility, you're in a medium that's very intimate, you're in people's living rooms. They say, wow, this is a great guy, and why shouldn't they have the same rights? And why should they be discriminated against or not be able to adopt or get married? Because you become friends with those people on TV. and you realize that we're more alike than we are different. That's the power of visibility in the media. And just when you know someone, you're less likely to be discriminatory against them, I guess.
Yes. And during this Pride Month, how are you celebrating and what's been on your mind?
Oh, gosh, I think it's so important now more than ever. I think that, I think Pride is every day. For someone like me, I just try to, be authentic. And I think that's the power of being out, is that you run into people all day long and they see you and they say, oh, again, that same concept, we're more alike than we are different. And I'm going to, be an ally. So I think about allyship. I think about supporting our community. I think about supporting especially our trans brothers and sisters who are, under a lot of fire right now. And I think about also being joyful, because we've been through some really awful things as a community and we've always come together and overcome them. And I know that we can do the same, and we just have to stay positive and embrace our queer joy, which is it's our secret power.
He's so fun, and I'm a little jealous of his work from home location of Aruba. You can watch RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars on MTV, and BBQ Brawl is on the Food Network. And you can follow me on Instagram to hear more from Carson about something we actually both have in common, our love of horses.